Hey, today I have another special for you, also from the Everlook secret developer server. This time I will show you some items, I will read them to you, and then I will show you some mounts, and then I even will show you some other fights on the Programmer Isle. This is basically an area where they can test scripting and stuff like this. And then I will show you the Dar Portal, of course. I hope you will enjoy it. Like, comment and subscribe. Dislike it if you disliked it. And having said that, enjoy the rest of the video and have a nice day, guys. Stay safe out there. Bye bye. Yeah, let's have a look at the weapons here. We have the Doom Hammer, really amazing. You get an on-hit effect, gives the caster 3 extra attacks and causes it to inflict additional fire damage on each successful hit. That's really nice flavor there. We have the Scythe of Main Blackhand. This is a unique two-handed sword. Chance on hit sunders the target's armor, reducing it by 450 per sunder armor and causes a high amount of threat. Can be applied up to 5 times, last 30 seconds. We have Tidebringer, a one-handed sword. Inflicts normal damage plus 50 to enemies in a cone in front of the caster, knocking them back. Really amazing. Zul'jin's Mark, that's a bow. Chance on hit instantly clears the cooldown of aimed shot, multi-shot, volley and a cane shot. Chance on hit restores 375 to 425 mana. We have Black Hand's Fang. It's a one-handed axe. Improves your chance to get a critical strike by 1%. Chance on hit drains 30 health from nearby enemies, healing the caster for up to 3 times the amount stolen. We have Sorfang's Cleaver. Improves your chance to hit by 1%. Chance on hit increases the attack speed of nearby allies by 33% for 10 seconds. Tarbek's Hand Cannon inflicts weapon damage and 100 additional fire damage to an enemy and any of its nearby allies. Words of Alanus Foul increase healing done by spells and effects by up to 62. Improves your chance to get a critical strike with spells by 1%. Attempts to dispel a harmful curse, disease, magic effect or poison effect from nearby allies. That's an on-use effect. Planar Key of the Kirin, that's a staff. Increase your spell damage up to 120 and your healing by up to 300. Equip improves your chance to get a critical strike with spells by 2% and on use turns the caster invisible for 2 minutes. Though the spell is as unstable and may end earlier. My god. Twin Axe of Gorefiend summons 5 spectral projections, that's on use, to fight in the place of the caster, who become invisible and invulnerable, though unable to act. After 6 seconds, these apparitions sacrifice their life to heal the caster, who resumes the battle. My god, that's a two-handed axe. Hammer of the Silver Hand, nice flavor by the way. Chance on hit makes the caster immune to all attacks and spells for 2 seconds. Just insane. Talon of Silver Moon, fist weapon, improves your chance to hit by 1%. Also chance on hit pummels nearby enemies for normal damage plus 10 and interrupts any spell being cast 75% of the time for 5 seconds. Kel'Thuzad's Reanimator is a staff. Increase your spell damage by up to 120 and your healing by up to 300. On use, transforms an enemy into a rat, forcing it to wander around and deal 500 nature damage every 2 seconds to nearby allies up to 14 seconds. While wandering, the rat cannot attack or cast spells, but regenerates very quickly. Only one target can be cursed at that time. You will see this spell later on as well. Shogal's Conduit is also stuff. Increase the damage and healing done, magical effect spells by up to 150. Improves your chance to get a critical strike with spells by 2% and on use increase the fire, frost and arcane damage that the nearby enemies take by 50% for 5 minutes. Gul'dan Initiate Mage Blade is a one-handed sword. Increase damage and healing done by magical spells and effects by up to 95. Reflects 100% of harmful spells from the caster and nearby allies for 5 seconds. Gul'dan's Initiate Darkblade two-handed sword causes the caster to automatically inflict 150 shadow damage every 2 seconds to nearby enemies. The aura lasts until cancelled. That's an just equip and you basically have this. Also some nice looking swords and weapons in general. Warblade of the Grand Crusader two-handed sword. Chance on hit, a strike that costs 103 damage and increase the holy damage taken by the target by up to 30 per Crusader strike. Can be applied up to 5 times, last 30 seconds. We have Uther's Might, is a one-handed mace. Increase the healing done by spells and effects by up to 238. And you have a use. Puts nearby enemies to sleep for up to 10 seconds. Any damage caused will awaken them. Blade of Lordaeron two-handed sword. Chance on hit, increase run speed by 30% for 10 seconds. There's some nice... just some nice effects sometimes, it's really nice. We have Zul'jin's Bulwark. Increase your chance to block attacks with a shield by 5%. Increase the block value of your shield by 32. It has 75 block basic. And adds chance to counter attack when hit. Turelian's Reckoning, one-handed sword, 40 attack power, and chance on hit increase the caster's chance to parry by 75% for 8 seconds. That's also a sword that will you achieve on the back. I like those swords. We have Atrix Ancestral Axe. It's a two-handed axe. Increase damage and healing done by magical spells and effects by up to 76. Chance on hit inflicts 200 nature damage to nearby enemies every 3 seconds and increase the nature damage they take by 100 for 15 seconds. Carved Tree of Ogre Strength, it's a two-handed mace. This is like a Tauren totem, really amazing. 420 attack power in cat and bear and dire bear form. You can use it, increase your attack speed by 50% for 30 seconds. Claymore of Lordaeron two-handed sword. Increase the resistance of nearby group members to all schools of magic by 1 for until cancelled. Raider's Javelin, that's a throwing weapon. Improve your chance to hit by 1% and a critical chance by 1%. You have Testplate Crusader Helm 1, just a leather helmet that looks like a Crusader thing. Same for the second helm. Star of Silvermoon is also a throw weapon. Improves your chance to hit by 1% and crit by 1% as well. Looks like a shuriken, really cool. Then we have some Librams and totems and idols. This is the Libram of Holy Strike. Consecrates your weapon, inflict 200 to 225 additional damage on your next attack. All damage caused is considered holy damage. Then we have the Idol of Tree Form. You can use it, transforms the druid into a tree form, the original tree form by the way, removing all harmful physical effect and protecting from all physical attacks for 8 seconds, but during that time you cannot attack, move or cast spells. Also protects the caster from polymorph effects. The act of shapeshifting frees the caster of roots, snares and freeze effects. Then we have a totem of Unleashed Rage. Causes your critical hits with melee attacks to increase all party members' attack power by 10% if within 20 yards of the shaman, last 10 seconds. Barrier of Ner'zhul is a shield. Increase damage and healing done by magical effects and spells by 21. And use, encase the cast in bone armor, absorbing 1388 to 1612 damage for 1 minute. While the armor holds, spell casting cannot be uninterrupted by physical attacks. Then we have Combat Medic's Buckler, that's also a shield. Increase healing done by spells and effects by up to 55. You can use this, dispel magic on nearby enemies, removing 1 beneficial spell effect. Raider's War Axe. Chance on hit, this is a two-handed weapon. Chance on hit inflicts normal damage plus 30 to an enemy that is nearest allies affecting up to 3 targets. Hits also reduce armor by 240. And then the last one is Manurov's Spawn. This is a wand, improves chance to hit with spells 1%, increase the damage done by 18, and chance on hit inflicts shadow damage to nearby enemies and hits them with anti-mana bolts, knocking them back. Yeah, and that was basically it for the items. I will show you now the mount here. That there were really nice mounts, I think. I love the color scheme there. And then later on I will also show you the Dark Portal.